We have a big update on Shari and Chad, how they're doing, what's going on with the relationship with Kevin, and what happened with Kevin when it comes to him finding Shari in the home, the house broken down, and him being mad and wanting to file a police report. I've got more information on that I want to give to you right now. And guys, make sure and click the plus sign because I'm going to have more on this you don't want to miss. Sound off in the comments and tell me what you think. But we have everybody's favorite lawyer, Randy Kester. He is speaking out on behalf of Kevin, and he's talking more about the fact that he filed for divorce this week from Ruby, and he was asked specifically about Shari and Chad. Take a listen to how they're doing and take a listen to where their relationship is now, and then we'll discuss.
What about Shari and Chad?
Oh, they're getting along great with their dad. They've spent a lot of time together. They were all together actually over the Thanksgiving holiday, and spent some time together as a family. And Shari and Chad are in constant contact with Kevin.
That's not that's good to hear, because that's good to hear, because we did see reporting that there was tension between Shari and Kevin with respect to her coming to the house. He was curious if or not a police report could be filed against her, criminal charges been filed against her for coming into the home. So how did they work through their differences?
Just by discussing with adults to one another, father to daughter, and they went through all that. It was a lot of it was circumstantial. There were tensions and feelings were running pretty hot after that arrest of Ruby and finding out how Russell and how their children had been treated in Ruby's custody. I think even the older children were upset about that. Kevin was certainly upset about it, and tensions were just running pretty high. There was some finger pointing going on, but they've resolved all that. Kevin was particularly upset that the front door of his home had been kicked in and things had been gone through, and the house was a mess. And he'd even been told that third parties who weren't even family members had been able to get into the house and take things or rifle through things or just walk through. And so when he found out some of his personal electronic materials had been taken,
right,
he was upset with Shari. But they've resolved all that. They're best friends now.
I'm torn by this because on the one hand, I think healing and forgiveness is so important, even in situations like this. And I think Shari and Chad, first of all, we have to remember they are young. I think they are in their teens, barely in their 20s. And it is hard for anybody to understand. I'm almost 40 years old. I am 39 and I'm still figuring out and uncovering things that have happened to me in my past with traumatic events, with family, with the way I grew up, with ex-boyfriends. And it can take a really long time. And when you're young, it's impossible to understand everything that's going on and how to react and what to do with it. So I think that Shari and Chad, by trying to get in good with their dad, I think they are trying to do the best thing for their family and more importantly for the siblings that aren't there with them who are in CPS custody. And it makes me so mad to even say that. This should not be an issue. This should have never been an issue for these people with so much money and so much privilege in the world. But my heart goes out to them. Now, in regards to Kevin, here's what still concerns me. It concerns me that I feel like the lawyer, and look, the lawyer's job is to try to make Kevin look good, to fight on Kevin's behalf. He's doing his job as a lawyer. I can't fault him for that. The problem is it feels like we're being manipulated. It feels like we're being manipulated because he is trying to put a positive spin on what happened with Kevin and try to justify, because Kevin came out wanting to press charges against Shari for burglary. And he's trying to say, he was confused. He was upset somebody broke into the home. I would hope that Kevin's priority in this would be to be upset that his children had been so hurt. Not the fact that police came in. His door being kicked in. First of all, we had this lawyer lying about what happened with the door. Kevin knew the police kicked the door down. The lawyer was lying, saying, we don't really know. They knew. And the lawyer could get the police reports. They 100% knew. So I feel like this is just PR moves and trying to save face for Kevin, but I get it. They have to because Kevin is still trying to get custody of his children. So he has to try to put his best foot forward and look like, it was a misunderstanding. And my concern is, I hope his main concern was about his children, but then we hear that he was trying to go after his children in this. So was it really? Or was he upset because there were things on those electronic devices he didn't want people to know about? These are the things I'm concerned about and I question. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm asking questions when something doesn't look right and smell right. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm happy to hear that they're doing well. I'm happy to hear that it looks like there's some sort of reconciliation and healing, because I think, unfortunately, as much as we can't trust Kevin, it may be the best thing that Kevin becomes the best person he can be to help the rest of his children. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this?